welcome back to my clean cooking videos. This is Shanna Ross with Shanna Ross Fitness in Houston, Texas. And what I'm going to be preparing in this video is a crustless, I said it right, how about that? A crustless egg tort. Now, here's the great thing about this. Yes, you can have it for breakfast when we typically have eggs, but you can also have it as a snack. You can have it for lunch, afternoon snack. You can even have this for dinner. And we're going to make a big tort. As you can see, I have 6 eggs here, so you're not going to eat all of those for breakfast unless you're a bodybuilder. And if you are, knock yourself out. It's going to be great, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to eat about 1/4 of this and then put the rest in the refrigerator. It's going to keep beautifully. You can heat it up if you want, take it to work with you, or you can eat it cold. It just doesn't matter, however you want to do it. So let's get cracking. Let me show you some of the ingredients, all right? First thing, I'm going to use, too much glare, you got it? Looks good? Organic Girl Super Greens. Why am I using this? Well, it is a blend of baby greens, red and green, Swiss chard, tatsoi, arugula, and spinach. Talk about a nutrition bomb. Here it is right here. So that's going to be the base for the tort. I'm going to chop it up nice and show you what we're going to do with it then. Going to go with some onion. I like purple onion. I like the sweetness of it. Some little grape tomatoes. You can use any tomatoes you want. Doesn't matter. If it's heirloom tomato season wherever you are, oh man, there's just nothing better. And then I'm going to put some broccoli in there. You can choose any vegetables you want. Make it yours. That's what's so wonderful about this recipe. I am using pasture-raised eggs. Why? I find it really funny sometimes when I go in the grocery store and I'm looking at the eggs, and on the carton it always says, fed a vegetarian diet. Guys, here's a tip for you. I grew up on a farm. I've never seen a vegetarian chicken, okay? When they're out in that barnyard, they're scratching, looking for worms, pulling them up out of the dirt, eating them. A worm's not vegetarian. That's protein. That's meat. They eat that. So I'm going to buy some eggs where I know that those hens were out in that yard. Those gals were having a good time, finding their worms, finding their grubs, because they're eating what they were meant to eat. They're going to be healthy, they're going to be happy, and they're going to give me some good eggs. So let's get chopping on this, and then we'll head over to the stove, and I'll show you how to put it together, okay? Coming right back. All right, so let's chop. So we're just going to take those greens, wad them up, give them a nice chop. Some onion. That's the way our neighbors over in Louisiana would say it. They say some onion. Nice little chop on this onion. If you don't, save time wherever you can. Now remember, we don't have a crust on this, so you want to leave things a little chunky. Okay, here's the seasoning, guys. I have some Penzy's garlic. Now this is just dry garlic. When you put it in the pan with this stuff, that olive oil is going to reconstitute it, giving it a great flavor, just as if I had chopped up fresh. Save some time. Then we're going to go with MURAL of flavor. You notice this is salt-free. It's not going to add a lot of sodium to your food. Last thing, we're going to put in just a little bit of dill weed. That's it for the seasoning. A little salt and pepper. We're good to go. All right? Okay, so here we are at the stove. I'm going to show you how we put this together. I'm going to use some olive oil. Now, I've put some heat under the pan because I want to get it warmed up before I put the oil in. When you're cooking with olive oil, it is best not to get the oil hot. You don't want to overheat it. So we're just going to pour some in. Just look at it. You really want it to coat the bottom of that pan. That's all we're going for. It's gone into a hot pan, so it's going to be pretty ready to start with these onions. And that's perfect temperature. I don't know if you can hear it, but there is a little sizzle on it, which is exactly what we want. So along with the onion, I'm going to go ahead and put those tomatoes in. You want those to start breaking down a little bit. All right, so this is going to take probably, I'm going to leave that in there about a minute. It's going to depend on what the onions start looking like. You don't want them to burn. You just want them to start getting a little translucent. Let that tomato break down a little bit so you really start getting that great bite that those tomatoes can give. And then we'll... Okay, so see how those tomatoes have broken down? They're no longer solid and standing up. They've flattened out. You can just smell the tomatoey goodness of this. Now, just before we came back on, I sprinkled some of the garlic on there. It is reconstituting very, very nicely. So while that looks great, I'm going to scoop in the green stuff. Let it saute just a little bit longer. All right, everything's broken down very, very nicely. See, it's just lying there at the bottom. So all you're going to do, I've beat my 6 eggs to within an inch of their lives. Salt and pepper, pour it over. Oh yeah. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit to medium. Because what I don't want is I don't want the eggs to burn on the bottom, but I'm going to have to let it sit in there long enough that it starts to set up and not be as runny. Then we're going to finish it off in the oven under the broiler. Sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. Yum! And you got breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner, whenever you want to eat it, it's going to be ready. All right, this is really starting to set up nicely. Let me tell you a little trick that's going to move things along a little bit. It's going to take the spatula, go around the sides of the egg, tilt the pan a little bit, and let the still liquid part of the eggs run underneath the parts that are setting up. So all this does is just get some of the liquid off the top, helps it to set up a little bit quicker, which means you're spending less time in the kitchen. Now, something that some of you might be saying right now is, I don't have time to make this tort in the morning for breakfast. Well, yeah, I don't either. There aren't many of us who do have that kind of leisure in the morning when we're trying to get ready to go to work. So you make it ahead of time. You can make it at night for dinner if you want, or on Sundays I'll make this. Go ahead and put it in the refrigerator, and then I've got it whenever I want it. So this isn't necessarily something you just wake up bright and early to make first thing in the morning. You've got to plan ahead. That's what healthy living's all about. All right, we're about to come back and get it in the oven just a couple more minutes. All right, guys, you can still see that there is a little bit, maybe you can, but there's just a little bit of liquid still left on top. You can see it running around. So what we're going to do to finish this tort, we're going to head over to the oven. I'm going to put the broiler on. Now, you've got to think, all right, if you're going to put this in the oven, you have to use a skillet that's oven ready. This has a handle that I can put in there. And honestly, most skillets that you buy these days is going to have a handle that you can put in the oven. That's fine. So we're just going to put it in there, turn the light on in just a minute, and check it out. It's going to start puffing up on top. It's going to get all fluffy and pretty. And then we'll take it out, slice it up, let you look at the finished product. Be right back. And if you guys have watched any of my videos in the past, you know that my fur-trimmed mitt always has to make an appearance because it's so pretty, and it makes me feel pretty. But look at pretty, huh? How about that? Fluffy on top, you can still see all the veggies. I didn't put the veggies in that long, so you're still going to have a little bit of crunch on that broccoli. So, simply, all I'm going to do, take a knife, I'm going to quarter it, stick it in the refrigerator, eat it whenever I'm ready. Took about, 15 minutes, Donna? About 15 minutes? That's pretty good for 15 minutes. Breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner, 15 minutes. It's good eating, it's clean eating, it's going to make you feel better. You're just going to absolutely love this, okay? So check me next time. I want to remind you, if you liked this video, why don't you subscribe to my channel and come on over and visit me at SHANA'sFitness.com. You can sign up to be a subscriber. That way you'll know exactly when I do some more videos, and I'll send you some nice free stuff as well. All right, check you later.